Okay, so it's good to see everyone. All right. Now, I did do a session on Saturday, and I just want to tell you, I'm not sure I'm going to keep doing them unless you guys really want me to, because you're all making calls. You're doing what you need to do. We don't have to do it together. I thought you might want to, but I don't want to make you drive, across the Connecticut. So we'll talk about it, but I just want you to know that's how I feel. So, last 2 weeks, this we haven't had a class, and this is last week was a vacation. This is our first class, so it's been a while. So you've all had time to make your contacts, get things going. A lot of people are saying the market is changing. How do you feel? Anyone see any differences?
No, it's
Still
not
like
the same.
about the,
I think the weather has hurt, especially the shoreline.
is it
I
so
see
cold?
a lot more price reduction.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh,
It's like we're not getting 25 appointments on the first day and 10 contracts.
well, that's true. Yeah, you're right about that.
So I think that's good, and that's good to talk about. I think it kind of gives people it's not so rush and crazy and maybe we should go look at some houses. All right, so let's talk. Um, Joining this program, make a definite commitment and a commitment to yourself. So just keep in mind, these are activities you want to do. Okay, you want to make sure that you contact 5 people a day. I don't care how you do it. You can, like, give anybody have examples of how they made contacts this past week?
Hmm.
Memorial Day, social media. Does that count?
Okay, social media. And also, Mick, how many things have you mailed out?
Last weekend it was 96.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Mick is mailing out some cool, he's had marketing work on some things for him. He has mailed out some great letters.
And that was
And
my third round, and I have another one coming up with the listing plan of action. I want to get that out to them again. They say it takes 5 to 7 touches. Well, I'm touching. I want to keep going.
yep.
So
So that's
How have those mailings worked out for you?
I don't think it's been enough time since the last ones went out because of the holiday weekend and all. Maybe people aren't really into it, but I want to start following up with phone calls after this last mailing I send out, which will be next weekend. And I'll keep you guys posted. I'll let you know what happens.
Who are you
excellent.
sending them to?
Expireds and canceled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great, great idea. There's a lot of ways to go after business, and that's what I love about us. We can do it however we want. All right, so, but the most important thing is that you have 5 contacts a day, okay? Whatever your goal is, just stick to your goal. And then you want to make sure you're calling, texting, emailing your sphere, social media, whatever you want to do. And then the first month, you want to turn some of these conversations into appointments. And what's the hardest thing is to do that because why? You feel like maybe I'm not ready to make an appointment. Maybe I don't know enough. Okay. So no one feels like they know enough ever. And that's what I'm here for. That's what Ryan's here for. You have support for a quick conversation. I remember Kelly and I, when we started the training center in Southington, one of the brand new agents got an appointment. And, she's like, I don't know what to say. So we told her what to say to make the calls. Then she got an appointment. Then she's like, I don't know what to talk about. And we're like, just be yourself. She got the listing. She was in competition with 2 other experienced top agents, one from Cheshire, one from Southington. And she got the listing because she said, I love your house. My sister lives around the corner. I know I can sell it. That's how she got the listing. So it's like people don't really care what our background is. They just want, unless high end, you're going to see that they might care a little more, but the average person, they don't care. And they're looking for someone they can relate to that has energy. So don't, that you learn by doing. You got to throw yourself out there. In addition to the calls and texts and emails and posting, we want to send out 5 personal letters a week. So, and then 1 appointment a week, and then do an open house. So that's the deal. You want to keep your eye on the ball. Those are the things we want to do. Okay, here we go. Objections. So our objective today is by the end of the session, you'll understand the psychology behind objections. Learn how to identify the real objection. Master the best strategies to overcome resistance and close deals. Practice handling objections with scripts and role play. So the more conversations you have, the better you will end up getting on objections. You can't just know it. You have to do it and throw yourself into these conversations. And unfortunately, sometimes we learn, by saying the wrong thing. And then you're like, I'm not going to do that again, so you can't feel bad. And the other thing is, I will tell you this, the average person out there, they have no memory and they don't remember what you said. So whatever you can do to make an appointment, that's important. And then they're not going to remember even how you got there. So it's just the way it is. As a new agent, I learned how to sell at open houses, and I did a lot of new construction open houses. And I would follow the listing agent around, and people would ask her a question, and she would just deflect and, ask them a question, change the subject, and I would be waiting for the answer. That's which she never gave. And that was how I really learned, like, this is not about answering questions. You don't have to know everything. What do you have to do? You have to ask them good questions. And that's the best way you can overcome objections. So this is broken into 3 parts. The first part is the psychology. Why do clients give objections? Fact, objections are not rejections. They are a sign the client is engaged, but uncertain. Okay? That's what. So it's not a rejection. You can't take it personally. Just like we can't take it personally when people don't return our calls. We're salespeople. We're supposed to call them again and again and again. Follow up. They're not going to call us back. They're busy. They have a million things on their plate, and we're not one of them. So don't take it personal. All right. Why don't they want to move forward? 3 main reasons clients object. Number 1 is fear. They're afraid of making the wrong decision. This is a big decision, right? They're afraid of making the wrong decision. The second thing, uncertainty. They need more information to feel confident. So, and honestly, they don't need more information to feel confident, but they think they do. Just like you might think you do. You don't. So we give them more information, but it's a personality. Stalling. They don't feel an urgency and they need a push. Sometimes we have to push them. And a lot of this is a husband and a wife, for example. So let me just say this, depending on who they are. So we have people that own more than one house. They have many houses. What would be the reason to push somebody like that? Many houses, very wealthy. They're hemming, they're not really making a decision. How could we push them?
Ask more questions.
Yeah, ask more questions, and they're just like everybody else. So the fact is, right now, there's a lot of opportunity in the market, and I just don't want to see you lose a good opportunity. That's it. They want opportunity. So think about words that draw you in. I just don't want to see you lose a good opportunity. That's all. This, and you'll know. I mean, a house is a house is a house. Condos, condos, condos. Location is something you can't change. But, if it's on the shoreline, it's going to be on the shoreline. So, for the most part, most of the time, it's just if they're stalling and they don't have an urgency, we have to give it to them. If they're afraid of making the wrong decision, we have to listen to their fears. We can't take it personally. We ask more questions, we dig deeper. And then uncertainty, they need more information. We can give them more information. So, what kind of personality are they? And, if they're analytical, give them all the data. If they are more emotional, they feel things, then we need to get them talking and, find out what their fears really are. If they're a driver, well, they're going to make up their own mind. So just, some details and again, talk about opportunities. Okay, so your job, your mission, I saw Mission Impossible this weekend. It was so good. Last weekend, really good. Your job, uncover the real objection, guide them to a decision.
Isn't
Okay.
that a line you could actually use with them? Like after you talk back and forth a little bit, just kind of settle them down a little bit and say, okay, now really, what's the real objection?
Yeah. Yes.
That lays it right on the table. Really,
Yeah.
what is your fear? Get them talking
I'm
about it.
I'm feeling something. Tell me what you're really thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe we can think about it together. I'm not going to push you. I want you to make a good decision that you feel comfortable with. But maybe I can help you. I can get more information. All right. So, why do clients give objections? These are the reasons. Part two, the golden rule of objection handling. Don't assume you know why they're hesitating. If you're anything, I grew up in a big family, four brothers. Whoever could get their uh, point of view out first was the one that would win because everybody talked at once. So I have a hard time. Guess what? I have a hard time not assuming. When you start to talk, I think I know what you're going to say. That's not true. So as a good salesperson, I have to learn to like zip it and listen and ask more questions and really listen. So don't assume you know why they're hesitating. Once in a while you'll know, but we don't always know. Don't argue or get defensive. Don't let the conversation end too soon. You want to feel satisfied. If you, and this happens on the phone and it happens in person, if you hang up and you don't know why they're not moving right away, you didn't do your job. Our job is to uncover. If we can get them talking, sometimes I hang up before you even say a word. But if you starting a conversation, then it's like, okay, so tell me more about that. Well, why do you think that? That's interesting. I haven't heard that before. You make them feel good. Reframe what they're saying, okay? So what not to do are those things. What to do? Stay calm and be curious. Ask questions to dig deeper. Reframe the reframe their concern as a stepping stone to closing the deal. We're just not ready yet. I hear that a lot. People aren't ready. What do you think is going to happen to get you to that next place where you might be ready down the road? So whatever they said, you almost want to repeat it so they know you heard them and then reframe what they said. Reframe their concern as a stepping stone to closing the deal. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
So here is the framework for digging deeper. Okay. Whenever you hear an objection, and Sydney Fullen, top coach in the country, helped me write this and really went through it with me when we did it. And, this is really good uh, psychology, and it is everything about objection handling. So you want to like go over it and really internalize it and practice reframing things with people you know. If they don't want to go out, I don't want to go out tonight. I know I didn't want to go out either. Why don't you want to go out? Like try doing it so that you get the hang of it. If you are talkative and social, you probably don't have a problem doing this. But if you're kind of quiet, you need to practice this. So dig deeper. Whenever you hear an objection, use these questions to find the real issue. Clarification questions. Can you help me understand what's holding you back? Is it the timing, the price, or something else? When you ask people to help you, they immediately want to help you. It's like that, at least nice people. That's their, oh, okay. So can you help me understand what's holding you back? Pain point questions. What would need to happen for you to feel confident moving forward? Have you had a bad experience with this process before? So if they're giving you objections, whether it's on the phone, in person, as you're showing houses, like think about it. What are the objections you're getting when you're showing houses, when you're going after a listing, when you're trying to make an appointment? What are the objections? And then what if you said something like this? What would need to happen for you to feel confident moving forward? And they'll tell you. Okay, so clarification questions, pain point questions, solution-oriented questions. If we could find a way to address that concern, would you be ready to move forward? So what do you think about that? If we address the concern, are they ready to move forward? They may have more than one. And you have usually two people making a decision. So, they may not even be telling each other what's going on. So that's why we have to keep asking. Okay, so if we could find a way to address that concern, would you be ready to move forward? If there's a hesitation, you have not gotten down to the bottom of it. Let's say we solve that issue. What else would stop you from making a decision today? I love like we just want to think about it. We just want to think about it. It's a lot to think about. What made you decide to look into moving to begin with? Well, our house is too small. We can't have the family over for Thanksgiving. Find the pain point. I remember my oldest daughter, uh, her pain point was she wanted to adopt three rescue dogs. And she lived in a condo. That was so funny because what she really wanted to do was get pregnant, but she didn't know that. She had the dogs picked out and everything. It was really fun. So that's why you want to ask what is there's something happening here. We need to get to what the issue is with them. Okay, so action step. Write down at least 3 objections you have received, like in the last month. Think about it. What are some objections that you've received? So write down one. And if you haven't had any objections yourself, think of what you're afraid somebody's going to ask you. We good?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, hold on to them. Okay, I want you to keep it in front of you. All right, here are now we're in part three. The five most common objections and how to handle them. So, number one, we really want to think about it. Jody, we really want to think about it. What it really means. Fear of commitment, need more information, right? So that's what it is. So here is the response. I completely understand this is a big decision. What specifically are you still unsure about? Let's go over any concerns so you feel confident moving forward. When does this happen? We really want to think about it. What do you think? Where are they in their moment of truth? I love the moment of truth. Do you guys know what moment of truth is?
No.
So, moment of truth is something that a coach that I had years ago used to talk about. And he would say, we lead and direct people to a good decision in a moment of truth. And we do that by selling them what they want, meaning we tell them what they want to hear until they're ready to make a move. And then we give them good information to help them move forward. Because if you're not ready yet, it's timing. It real sales is timing. So if you're not ready yet and you give them all your good stuff when they're not ready, then they're going to find ways to discount everything you're saying. If you just make them feel good until they're at a moment of truth, then when you give them that information, they sign contracts. So it's funny because I started taking coaching from Ralph Williams about 2000. And I think it was like 2004, Google started talking about moment of truth in their advertising. So I just thought it's really funny because Google is the same thing. So it's when a person is ready to make a decision. So when you think, what does it really mean? Um, we want to think about it. Usually they're at a moment of truth and they want to think about it. Okay. But it doesn't mean you should let them, because now is when we can give them the good information to help them move forward. I completely understand this is a big decision. What specifically are you still unsure about? And really get to the bottom of it. Let's go over any concerns so you feel confident moving forward. You don't want to push in the way that when we push, people push back. You want to ask questions and make them feel relaxed so they can be themselves. And then the magic happens. So that's the five most. So that was number one. We want to think about it. Number two. So for a lot of us, we're going after listings. That's the prize. We don't want to list until we find our next home. So in Connecticut, we don't want to list until we find our next home. Why are they saying that?
Because it's so hard to close on home, even with the multiple offers.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing people lose out 3, 4, 5, 6 times before they actually get their deal accepted. So, and then in Florida, what does that mean? Really, we don't want to put money down on a new home until we sell our home. So it's a little easier. But in both cases, it's easy to solve the problem. So what does that really mean? What it really means, fear of being homeless, not understanding market timing. And this is the response. That makes sense. But in this market, waiting could mean missing out on both selling for the top dollar and securing a great home. Okay, so let's explore a game plan to make this a smooth transition, sorry, a smooth transition. Well, both. Would that help? And in Florida, we're afraid we're not going to be able to sell our house. And then if we do sell our house, where are we going to go? Let's go look at some houses right now. Let's see if what's out there is in your budget and you're going to feel comfortable when we find something. For Florida, it's like you can't time the market. We could, right? So prices are going down in Florida. Prices are going up in Connecticut still. So what happens? My price is here, and if I wait on the house I want to buy, I'm gonna have to pay 5,000 more, 10,000 more, 15,000 more. We saw last week, the week before last, condos in New Haven, in Nick's area, went up 40% in value. That's insane. Okay. You can't even be prepared for that. So, well, guess what? The same thing happens going down. So you look at the numbers, it went down this much. Last 6 months, how much did it go down? So you start to get a feeling for the trend, and you don't want them to chase the market down for their house. Okay, so let's price it at a price that's going to cause it to sell. Okay, and that is the game plan. So that response is what you're looking for. Make them feel heard. Make them feel like you know what you're doing to help them through the transition. It's just kind of common sense. All right, next one. We think our house is worth more than you said, Jody. What that really means. Emotional attachment, unrealistic expectations, and maybe misinformation. Why do they think their house is worth more? Is it a Zillow's estimate? Is it RPR? Is it another agent told them? So, I understand why you feel that way. Many sellers do. Have you had a chance to review the comparable sales I went over? Let's walk through the data together to ensure we price it competitively. In Connecticut, I would still take the listing. In Florida, I wouldn't. Unless you have a really motivated seller. If you have a motivated seller, take the listing regardless of where you are, because they just need to see it. They need to go through a learning curve. But, sometimes we think our house is worth more. That's something you're going to get used to hearing all the time. I understand how you feel. Many sellers feel that way. Every seller feels that way. Have you had a chance to review the comparable sales I sent over? Let's walk through the data together to ensure we price it competitively. And then you bring them into each house, not literally, but you have your CMA, you have the Moxie, you have all the pictures, you can do it on your iPad, you can do it printed out, however you want, even your computer. You can go through each comparable. Okay, this is another one. It's timing. We're waiting for the market to improve. What it really means, fear of timing it wrong, lack of urgency. So it's kind of the same thing as the first one. Response, totally understandable. However, waiting can be risky. Interest rates, buyer demand, and market shifts are unpredictable. Would you be open to reviewing the numbers and weighing the pros and cons of listing now? They're going to say yes. So now you just made an appointment. So what, Mick, you just made an appointment because you said this. Now you're going to their house. What's the next step? See, that's our fear, and that's a lot of reasons why we don't say these things. We need to just get over it. Take your fears one at a time. you know, get to know the market. Your first fear is I have to call people I know and talk about the market. Okay, now you're making the calls. You just overcame your first fear. Your second fear is, what if I do make an appointment? What if they pick up the phone? That's the first fear. Then, what if I make an appointment? What if I make an appointment? Then what am I going to do? Okay, well, you're going to cross that bridge when you come to it because I will help you. We'll talk about it. We'll work it out. We'll come up with a strategy. And most of the time we don't even have to because you're doing these classes and you're mulling it over in your mind. You know what to do. And you have ChatGPT. So, last, your commission is too high. What it really means. They don't see your value and they want to negotiate. So, your response. I completely understand wanting to maximize your profits. The real question is, do you want to save a little on commission or net the most money possible? A strong marketing strategy often results in higher offers. Let's talk about how I ensure you walk away with the most profit. Okay. So those are the five, and you have the ones that you wrote down. Our goal, I'm gonna break you into rooms and I want you to practice these. Okay. So our goal is to, here we go. Stay calm, ask questions, dig deeper, reframe their concern. So get to the bottom of what the concern is and then say, reframe it. So anybody want to give an example of what reframing might look like? How would you reframe? Let me go find one. Okay. How would you reframe? We want to think about it.
I totally understand that. It's a big decision.
Excellent.
And what is it exactly you need to think about? How can I help you?
Well, we just are worried that we're not going to get what we need to get to then buy another house. We really want to stay within a budget.
So not a script, but in this scenario, can you mention that you can add in the clause that like upon seller finding house, write that into thing, or that's another step later to mention it?
No, I would definitely mention it.
Okay.
You know, and that would it help you if knowing that I'm not going to let you be homeless and we're going to write right into the contract when you go to purchase, it's subject to you selling your house. Or we're going to write right into the contract when you list your house, whoever buys your house is subject to letting you find your house of choice. So both are doable. All right. So did everybody write down a question that they have?
An objection, you mean?
An objection, sorry. Objection.
Well, I have two. One guy answered the phone. He was pretty nice and kind of playful, actually. After I gave him my spiel, he said, "Well, you know, my wife is a realtor." I didn't know how to come back from that one.
Do
But
you really want to sell your house with
yeah, right.
something that could end in divorce?
Well, one I had was, well, I just had a baby, or we just had a baby. So I gave along the whole congratulations, that's so awesome. Is it your first? And so forth and so on. And then I walked it along and said, well, it sounds like you're going to need a bigger place. And she said, well, not right now. I kind of have my hands full. And, you know, telling me her little life situation with the kids and all that stuff. And We
I
left
just
it
want
with
you
that.
guys, I want you guys to know something. Mick just got over COVID.
Oh my God. For the third time, 3 times.
Wow.
So he
So
is doing
anyway,
really good for
let,
this.
let me, what I did after that was I am sending out all these letters, but something like that, I personalized it. I just, I put their name on it and so forth and said, congratulations again. And let me know if I can be of assistance with you when you're ready to find a new home. So,
Good. Okay. So I am going to put you in breakout rooms. I want you to think of an objection. I want you to role play back and forth, reframe it. So what it's either you're having a conversation on the phone, one person is the agent, the other person is either a buyer or seller, depending on the scenario. Okay? And I really want you to take your time. We have a lot of time. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes. I want everyone to do it. I am not going to watch because I want you to feel comfortable. Okay. And stop sharing. Okay. Breakout rooms.
I can't get rid of this, Jody.
What are you trying to get rid of?
My screen, it's got all my like apps.
All right. Put your thumb.
Uh-huh.
Are you on a computer?
Yeah.
Put your thumb on uh, Alt next to the space bar and your forefinger on Tab. Keep your thumb down, don't take it up. Click Tab once, and then
So
you'll see all your windows.
alt and what?
Alt, and then your forefinger on Tab.
And tab. I don't see
That's
tab.
the trick, guys. Then you can go from window to window that way. All right, I'm gonna
Oh,
put
I see
you,
tab. Okay, I see tab. Okay.
okay, I'm putting you in the breakout room. Just click join.
yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say one more thing.
Okay.
Another thing I learned was that when a client has an objection about the amount of time that you want them to sign, you can always negotiate the time you have them sign for. I learned that from Paul.
Tell me more.
Well, let's say we want them to sign for 6 months.
Okay.
We can ask if that's one of their fears. We can say, hey, how would you feel about signing for 3 months instead and see how they feel about it? Or we can say, hey, just to prove to you how how what's it called? How successful this plan will be. I am willing to sacrifice my my time being, pretty much wasting my effort and time by doing it for 3 months instead of 6, just to prove to you that I'll be able to sell it with the plan that we have here at Century 21.
I like the idea. I wouldn't put myself in the conversation though. You want it to be about them. So I would never say I'll sacrifice wasting my time, but I like the idea. So you guys might not know this. We have something called seller service pledge, and it's in zip forms. And it basically says if they listed with us for 6 months, uh, not less than 2.5% representing the seller, that we will let them out of the contract if they have a legit, if we didn't do something we promised we would do. But they have to give us 10 days written notice to our broker. So that would be Ryan, or it could be your manager. And that 10 days to cure whatever it is that is the issue. So how do you feel about a 10-day listing? Because that's what it would be. So we do have that. If that comes up and that's one of their fears, it's called the Seller Service Pledge. Our company, we use Century 21 Seller Service Pledge, and we guarantee our work. So anything that I promised you, I have to do. And if I don't, then you can reach out to my broker, and I have it right here. And on the seller service pledge, it's like a marketing plan. It has like 18 things that you promise to do. And they're things like value their time, get there on time. It's things that are the courteous, professional way we should behave anyway, and which is what people are afraid. A lot of times we're strangers, so that's a great idea. It really is a good idea. Thank you for sharing that, Paul. And Victor.
The reason why I offer that was because, as we were saying, they had a little trouble communicating with the lead, and they didn't see the value that she was bringing. Why would I need you if I have other offers on the table? These other people are offering me what I wanted. Why would I need your assistance? One of the thing is, why don't you try him out? Why don't you try me out for 3 months and see what I could do? I could show you. I could best outperform you
I love
and
that. Yeah, we
get
need to role
the
play this
results.
one. I love that because you could even in have it automatically re-up for another 3 months, on with seller's permission or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else have anything they want to share? Come on, Nick, I know you have something you want to share. Nick is always thinking, he's very analytical.
Like the one that came up in our thing was the other agents or something have more experience than you or something, I guess, based on um like the listing volume that they might find looking up their site or something. So like somebody that's newer that hasn't had much yet, we kind of came up with we work with a team of 12 different offices and have a whole bunch of support behind us. So, you know, if if something comes up, we have people, or I have access to people that, can help out with as backup. Phrased
Yeah.
phrased differently, but yeah.
So it sort of goes along with one of the reasons why we're the number one, we're in the top 20 Century 21 companies in the country, and yet we're a family-owned business, is because of the way we market properties. We actually sell houses, and we sell properties in every market. From fine homes, commercial to first-time buyers. So we are all things real estate. So it's about the marketing plan. So when you start to feel like if they start going down the path of you don't have experience, you just transition it. That's why I work with a team. We are in the top 20 of the most productive Century 21 companies in the country. And one of the reasons why we're there is our marketing plan. We sell houses. We don't just list them. I have an aggressive marketing plan that I'd like to share with you. That's good. Lorinda, you must get objections. Like what kind of objections?
Yeah, exactly what he had said, uh, the other agent has multiple listings all around. And, your office is in Southington and you're selling here in Old Saybrook. I said, well, we have offices all over the place. I said, I get referrals from a lot of my offices. I refer stuff to them. I said, we work as a team. We don't just get in our cars and drive to Washington, Connecticut or whatever. We have specialists in each and every area. So it's a hard one because there's some old timers that have been down around here. Um, but
So
you have to promote the office.
this is what I recommend you doing. If you have that, if you're in a area where they're very much into, are you from my area? And you're
Mhm.
like Southington, we own it, so there's no problem
Right.
there. Um, Look at the sales over the last year
Mhm.
and count how many out of town agents. So don't just look at the agents that are from a company that may have one office there, but see where their office is. Because you are not in Southington, you're like in Brantford.
So could you pull those stats off we
The
can pull
MLS, yeah, you
off
just would
MLS.
look
We
at
could do
the
that.
selling agent. Let me tell you about who's going to buy your house. Who do you think is going to buy your house in Old Saybrook?
Mhm.
Do you think it's somebody from Old Saybrook?
Right.
So what do you think?
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
Because
most of the time it's
most of
not.
the buyers are from out of town anyway, so.
Yeah. And I'm really good at working with out of town buyers because I look at it from a different lens. I know myself what my questions were.
Mm.
And I have a question slash whatever based on where I'm located in New Haven. I think I mentioned to you, Jody, before. We have Seabury Hill, Betsy Grower, a lot of local people that everybody and their brother knows.
Mhm.
If they say, "Oh, I'm not that they're more familiar with them, but all they see, or a lot of what they see in the yard signs are those people," and they're like, why should we go with not them?" Which it's kind of the same thing that we just did with your experience. You could probably answer the same way, but like, is
Well,
there
and
anything
and
is
the
there anything
thing
different?
is, the fact is, we have a lot of people in our company that work at Yale.
Mm.
My daughter's an associate CIO there. We have a lot of people that we have an inside track to Yale. We have Peter Stodolnik. He's very high up at Yale in your out of the Branford office. So that we have a lot of people. So who has an inside track? Yale does not work with one agent. They don't have a preferred company. So that's the conversation. They're the number one employer in the state, and we have an inside track to them. So if you're looking for doctors and teachers and professors and scientists, we're the ones you want to work with. The truth is, people go with whoever they want to go with. But, everybody, so that's the idea. Like, don't be afraid to pull whatever card you can.
Plus,
Okay.
sometimes those signs that say it's somebody particular, that might be a group and that person might not even be selling them at all. It could be somebody else from a team.
And so how would you ask a question? So let's say, all right, let's role play it. Well, I'm looking at what's the top team over there? The Betsy Grower team. I'm looking at the Betsy Grower team. So what would you say to me?
This, I would say, well, that's great, but I don't really know what I would say. I'm sorry.
So we're going to reframe. That's good though. So it would be like, oh, Betsy Grower team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How do you know Betsy? Oh, I don't know Betsy. Oh, well, so do you think you'll work with Betsy or do you think you'll work with somebody on her team?
And
You
then
know?
you can also say, I mean, it's the same thing. They just have a team with a name, but our team has a big name, Century 21. That's our team.
Mhm.
Well, and another thing you can say is, it's really funny. One of the top three in the country, Berkshire Hathaway teams, just joined us because of our support. So you're
Oh,
not just
really?
hiring, yes, in our Weathersfield office. So you're not just hiring me, you're hiring my whole team that help with the transaction. But this is what the good news is. Any client that I bring in, I'm bringing them in. I'm not having a new agent that doesn't know what they're doing yet to show your house. I'm going to be there to show your house.
You're getting me, not just.
Yes, however you want to say that. I know I kind of said it negatively because I'm competitive.
Mhm.
But yeah, so you just that it's really true. And that's why these kind of things are so good because you have to, think about it. It was so funny. I was watching a top agent do a YouTube video about why, he is an experienced agent that has been doing this, and this is why you need to go with someone, blah, blah, blah. So, what do you feel like when you see somebody with one of those kind of videos? Well,
I get
so
annoyed.
it wasn't one of our agents, okay? I just want to get that out there. But what I'm looking at is this person I know is not that great with customers. It's
Mhm.
all about the money.
Right.
So, who do you want to represent you? Somebody that has your best interest.
And also, I think I've said maybe when I first started, I'm the hungry agent. I don't have 15 or 20 different clients that I'm trying to schmooze all over the place. I'm going to be working hard for you.
Yeah.
I've used that before too. So what,
Mm,
they have 40 listings. Are you top? Are you
right,
gonna get
exactly.
us?
That's
Yeah.
good.
Where do you fall in that?
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
not the $1 million listing, that's for sure.
Right.
No.
Okay. I think you guys did a really great job. I'm going to just show you the last page of this presentation. And, the thing is, so we need to practice objections, role playing, things like that. You guys can reach out to each other and, make appointments if you want. You can use one of our Zoom accounts if you want something. Think about it. The more you do it like this kind of thing, the better you get because let's see. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, your challenge for the next 7 days, track every objection, write down what they said, and then think how you could refrain. Because in the beginning, it's harder than it is as you keep practicing. It gets easier and easier. The more you practice, the better you get. And the more conversations you have, the better you get. So
I feel
think
better already.
about what?
I said, I feel better already. This was a good meeting.
Well, thank you.
I
I'm
got,
so
yeah,
glad.
no, I got a lot from it.
I do too, Jody. I was a little down in the dumps about this whole, but
Yeah. All right, so we got to build our pipeline. The more conversations, the better. See yourself. It's funny. See yourself as a top agent in your marketplace. Don't take less than that. That should be your mindset. There's no reason why every single person in this session should see themselves that way. You are top agents in your marketplace. And I see how aggressive and good you guys are. So it's no joke. You're gonna do this. So have the right vision, see yourself that way, your mission, something that talks to you. Have a reason that you have to be successful. So it could be to provide a great life for your family. It could be for you. It could be to be debt free. It could be to exit your other job and do this full time and really go after it. So keep your mission front of mind and then focus on the execution. The execution is those 5 calls. That's the most important thing you can do every day, 25 during the week. When I used to teach this, I did a lot more than that. So this is doable. This is very doable. Just keep going forward. Believe that it's going to work. You're going to get the 3 deals. Now, this is what I want to show you. I sent you all this. Did you get this?
Yes.
So when you have your email, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the attachments. Here is the Leads Engine phone number. Whoops, sorry. I don't know what I just did. Why did it turn black? Just turned black. I must have touched something. Okay. Here we go. All right, I'm going to share the other screen. Right. All right. So this phone number, 903-294-4442, that is where your leads come from, that phone number. Write it down. Make sure you have that in your phone as a contact and that you put a really good ring on there. Okay?
Uh,
So
Is
that
that
is the,
Do that. How
is
do you
that
put a good ring on it?
well, you can change the ring on any contact.
Oh, I know that.
Just go into your settings
Okay.
or go on YouTube and ask how to do it. What kind of phone do you have?
Android.
So yeah, I have no idea how Androids do it, but
Okay.
go in there and Google it.
uh,
Do a
is
YouTube video.
is that different than Opcity?
Yes, this is different than Opcity.
Okay.
Okay, so here are that I wanted you to see. I did a class on Thursday, RPR, how to use it. You all have it. It's easy. I just did a CMA for one of our agents. Her son is selling his house in Virginia and had a terrible appraisal. I go, well, let's see what RPR says. And she sent it to them, and he's sending it to the bank. So there's a lot of good resources here. The other thing is zip forms. There are two good sessions. This one is with, let's see, Michelle and Larissa, everything about zip forms. And there's another one up here, paperwork. Where is it? Offers and signatures. So the buyer, creating a buyer transaction. So you have that resource as well. Okay. All right. So good news. Next week, Sydney Fullen is going to be at this session. Yay. And she is amazing. You are going to love her. I mean, really good. She's an amazing coach, and she's the one that helped put all this together. So I think you'll get a lot out of it. So next week, whether you come at noon or not, come at 5:30 so you can get the Sydney
Experience.
boost.
Jody, do you want me to text you? It's not Nick, it's Chuck. Chuck Nupkin.
Chuck Nunkin, that's it.
Yeah.
Hold on. I have it right here. I just want to send it. Chuck.
Who's he, the photographer?
Yes.
Oh,
He's
yeah, I
good.
used him.
Yeah.
He's very good. He
Yeah,
did beautiful work and he was very reasonably
he
priced.
is. Yeah, very reasonable.
Excellent. All right, you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Jody.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thanks, Jody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jody.
Take
Thank
care.
you so much.
Bye.